Clap 3 times if you can hear me. That was terrible. Mike, no. Clap 3 times if you hear me. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. You guys don't realize I asked 4-year-olds that I teach at church on Sundays, what was I going to do to capture everybody's attention? And all these little hands went in the air, and they're so eager to respond. And I was like, okay, I'll point to one. I said, Scarlett, what should I do? And she goes, you should tell them like you tell us, Miss Lon, and that's clap 3 times, put your bubbles in your mouth. And I was like, all right, I'll get you to clap 3 times, but maybe not the bubbles because I don't want the space everywhere. But now that I have your attention anyways, let me see if I can enlighten you for the next few minutes, okay? My topic is getting hungry, staying hungry. Those are 2 different things. See, getting hungry is as easy as just having a dream, a desire, just even an idea. But staying hungry is a lot more than that. To me, it's the continual and consistent feeling of that desire and idea until it becomes a reality. And so in order to know how to feel your hunger, you'd have to know what your true hunger is from the false ones. And what is a true hunger, right? A true hunger is the absolute thread of who you are. It was sown into each and every one of you before you even came to existence. And it's unique only unto you guys. But like me, you may not have known it right away. And so sometimes you have to trudge through a lot of mud to go through a lot of false ones before you know your true hunger. It's kind of like dating. Sometimes you have to go through a few bad apples. Sometimes, in my case, it's a lot of bad apples before I recognize when a good apple comes along. But when that good apple comes along and you know exactly what it is, you know that's the end of that true hunger inside of you. And that's what feeds you. And it makes you happy. You yearn for it. You do things for it that you wouldn't do for anything else. And it drives you because you believe in it. And I believe in my hunger as well. And so you have to also be careful. If there's a true hunger, there's a false. And the reason the false hungers you'll know because they will fade as quickly as it came into your mind. Okay? Also, being hungry and staying hungry doesn't mean it's going to be easy. In fact, it's going to be difficult sometimes. But you're going to press on because you believe in that hunger. You believe in yourself and that ability that you had inside of you. Sometimes you may not know it right away. True story. After my husband and I married, we moved to Massachusetts where he was from and I was from here, Oklahoma. And I wanted to do a lot of things in this new state. And one of them was to play the violin. I love classical music. I really believed I could have played Vivaldi 4 Seasons one day at the Civic Center if I practiced enough. I got the violin. I set up a tutor for the week. It was great. I practiced all the time. I went and saw the tutor, and things were good for a while. And after a while, I got lazy. I wasn't getting any better, and I just didn't want to practice anymore. I even made excuses not to go see my tutor because I knew once he heard me playing, he would know that I didn't practice either. See, so it was easy to get hungry, but I couldn't stay hungry because it wasn't who I was, okay? But fast forward many years later, a half a dozen states to the west, whichever way west is, and 2 babies and no job. I now had to figure out how to provide for my young growing family. And I went to a family friend of ours whose job it was to place people in jobs. And so I was like, what should I do, Jim? He goes, Lon, what are you doing here? You don't need to be in this line of business anymore. You need to go sell your cookies. You bake them all the time for family and friends, and these sugar cookies are the bomb. And I thought, okay, cookies are good. I got hungry, but I was like, could they make money? So I started. I was reaching for everything. I started social media. I was gaining leverage. We were doing Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. And orders were coming in. I would sacrifice up to 3 hours of sleep just so I could take more orders because I loved doing what I did. Eventually, it caught the eye of Food Network, and they invited me on a show. And I was like, yes, that was my aha moment. It was like I had hit the Oscars for me. And I thought, okay, now, like Eminem would say, I got to jump back to reality, right? But I didn't. I was still hungry. I thought I peaked, but I still wanted more. So what's a girl like me to do? She opens up a shop. That's where I'm at now. But anyways, I hope that I've inspired you to just go out and seek your true hunger, as I did, 1 cookie at a time. And in the words of The Rock, be humble, be hungry all the time, and always be the hardest worker in the room. Thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it.